Hello and welcome to 1-3. Today we're talking fractions and decimals. Our goal is that we're going to be able to see the relation between fractions and decimals, okay? So when we're looking at a number line here, if I have the value of 0, 1, and 2, there's all these little values that are between 0, 1, and 2. Okay, and so to represent the values between our whole numbers, like especially when we're measuring, we need to have something that's much smaller than just 1 cup. Or we need to have something that's between 1 and 2 cups. I don't want 1 or 2, I need something between that. Okay, so what we did is we said we're going to represent them in fractions, so I could say half, or in decimals, and they mean the same thing. Okay, so I really liked this chart, and I would like you to write it into your books, into your notes, how it says, here's my decimal. How would I say that decimal? I'd say it 1/10. Well, hey, I know a fraction that's also called 1/10, and here it is. Or look, here this is 1/100th. Okay, that's the place value that it is, okay? Words 100th. Oh, I know another fraction called 100th. It's 1/100. Okay, so that is the conversion is really simple if we could just say it out loud, and if it's, one of the place values, it makes it simple too. But please write this into your notes so you can have it for tomorrow. Let's get started. Okay, so here I want you to kind of vision this as I have one whole chocolate bar. Let's call this a chocolate bar for fun, okay? And if I wanted to color in 3 out of, that's what I kind of like visioning this. This is kind of like 3 out of, okay? So I want to color in 3 out of 10 chocolate bars, okay? So I'm going to color in 3 chocolate bars here. There's some nice sound effects for you. Oh, I better color in that one a little better. Okay. So now it says write it in word form and as a decimal. Okay, so if I was going to write 3 out of 10, and really I know that fraction says 3/10. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. 3/10. Okay, so there's my word form. I'm going to write WF for word form. Okay, now if I'm going to write it in decimal form, okay, so my place value, I have ones are on the left of the decimal. Here's my decimal. Whenever I see a decimal, I say and. Okay, and then my first place value to the right of the decimal is called the tenths place. So I have 0 ones in this. I don't have any whole chocolate bars, right? I don't have any whole ones. I only have part of one. I've colored in 3/10 of it. So I'm going to put a 3 in the tenths place. Okay, this is always called the tenths place, the first spot right after to the right of the decimal. So my decimal form would be 0 and 3/10. Whenever you say decimal, we don't say point, we say and. Okay, so I have 0 and 3/10 written as my decimal. Okay, let's try another one. So here we have the fraction 9/100ths, or 9 out of 100. So I have 100 squares here to represent one chocolate bar. This is one chocolate bar, okay? And I want to color 9 out of 100, okay? So I'm going to color in 9 squares. I'm going to eat that many because I'm not very hungry, I guess. 9/100ths of a chocolate bar is not that much chocolate. Okay, 9/100ths. So now I have to write it in word form. Word form. So I would write 9/100ths. HUNDRED. That would be 900, but I want it in decimal form because I'm less than a whole. 900ths. THS. We just add the THS. Okay, so again, this has always been the ones place. Now we're doing this and decimal. I have my tenths place and I have my hundredths place. Okay, so do I have any tenths colored in? Do I have any whole sticks, any whole lines tens. Do I have any tenths covered in? No, I don't. So I have 0 tenths. I have 0 ones. But I do have 9 hundredths. Okay, so to write this fraction as a decimal, it is 0 and, I have to get my other 0 in there, 9 hundredths. So this is decimal form. Okay, if I did 0 and 9, that would be 9 tenths. So that's how I know I did not get it right, because if I were going to color in 9 tenths, I would need to color in all of these boxes. Okay, that's way bigger than this 9 hundredths that I colored in. Okay, so I know it is not 0.9, and I'm going to say it wrong because it's the wrong answer anyways. I know I need this 0 right here as my placeholder to say this is 9 hundredths. Okay, let's go on to the next example. So here we're going to use a model to write 34 hundredths. We're going to write it in word form and as decimal. Okay, so I need to color in 34 boxes. Now to start off, I'm going to color in 3 tenths, because I know 10, 20, 30, I can color in 3 tenths to make 30. Okay, and then I'm going to color in 4. Okay, so if I'm supposed to color in 34 hundredths, 34 out of 100, I know there are 100 boxes here, I'm going to color in 34 of them. To write it in word form, okay, I'm going to write 34 hundredths. Again, I have that THS on the end, okay, hundredths. Okay, now if I'm going to write this in decimal form, I have 0 holes. I don't have any whole chocolate bars here. I have 3 tenths, and that's what I colored in first, my 3 tenths. And then I have 4 hundredths, or I could just say 34 hundredths. Okay, so my decimal form is 0 and 34 hundredths. This is the hundredths place. This is the tenths place. Now, the only thing that's kind of different when we're talking whole numbers and decimals, so when we're talking whole numbers, we start out with ones, tens, hundredths. When we're talking decimals, we jump right to tenths. We don't have any oneths. Okay, probably because that sounds funny. I don't know why they decided to do it that way, but that just sounds funny, oneths. Okay, so we don't have any oneths. We start tenths, hundredths, and then it goes on from there. Thousandths, 10,000ths, 100,000ths, millionths. Okay, so you can see it follows the same pattern as when we're talking whole numbers, but it just skips the ones place. There's no oneths place. Okay, it starts with tenths. Okay, that is all that I have for you today. Thank you for watching. I'm excited to get started on this tomorrow, and I hope you have a great night.